All right, greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected and all the viewers are smarter than the average bear. Hello, everybody. Extra bullet, yeah. Biden did sound like an animal raised from the dead in the pet cemetery. I don't know. I got frustrated with the obvious ridiculousness of these two buffoons on the stage. But, of the buffoons, Biden was the very elderly, almost dementia. I don't, whatever you want to call it. He's just so old. He's barely functioning, and it's been that way for years, and it's pretty obvious. And they've been trying to say like it's pretty bad. Everybody who sees him says it's pretty bad, but the White House and all the liberal news outlets have been saying, well, he's fine, he's great, he's awesome. He's and how dare you question his competence? You elder abuser, but they're committing the elder abuse because they're forcing him to be out there trying to make sense of it. He barely knows where he's at. Anyways, but I said last night, if you remember, I said the theory, the prevailing, not prevailing, but one of the big theories is that they were going to replace Biden before the election. And I did say last night, he sounds lucid. I saw some of that footage, Shani. He does not sound lucid. He sounds the same. And he walked off the stage and tried to shake hands with somebody who wasn't there. That's the same. I think that's the same footage I saw. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe he got a new round of I don't know, of brain candies. I don't know. Anyways, I said they weren't going to replace him because I think the Democrats know that they're going to lose, and why put a round in the chamber, right? As far as like replacing him, putting somebody else in. Why would you put somebody else in unless you thought you could win? It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Because whoever you put up is probably going to lose. It's not, so maybe they think that they could put somebody else in and that they would win. But anyways, let me rewind a little bit, because I said that's the prevailing theory, and guess what happened? As soon as that debate was over, literally all, CNN and all liberal media was like, Biden is terrible. Biden is, obviously there's something wrong. Obviously he can't go forward as the nominee. Like, they were all saying that. I'll show you the footage. Yes, Gene, exactly. They're replacing him with their choice, not the primary voters' choice. Exactly. They likened it, someone likened it to what happened with Nixon and Ford. Agnew was let go from VP. Then Nixon appointed Ford. Then Nixon resigned. Ford became president and appointed Rockefeller as VP. Anyways. Yeah, it's the other replacement theory, Christopher Spavins, which has been, pretty much legitimized by what happened last night. And a lot of people thought that it was very coordinated, that they put him out there in order to showcase how bad he looks in time to replace him at the convention, which actually makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, now that theory that he's going to be replaced before the election, I think, has gained all kinds of strength. I mean, I thought it was 50-50, maybe more on the unlikely side before last night. And obviously, now it's like 80-20 that he's gonna be replaced. If not 90-10. I don't know how this is. I don't know, but again, I don't know how this helps. This looks terrible. You're replacing somebody that you were, riding with Biden this whole way, and you're going to replace him 6 months before the election because you think you're going to win. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. All of it looks bad for the Democrats, and I think it actually looks worse. If you replace Joe Biden, I think you actually look more incompetent than you already are. Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on. Yeah, it doesn't look good either way. It doesn't look good. So I don't know. But it was quite interesting. I mean, I think I actually, the debate was frustrating to watch. Did anybody watch some of the RFK thing on Twitter? I thought it was okay. It was a little weird. And I think some of the other candidates had their own like kind of reaction debate kind of thing. I think Jill Stein did something like that too. I mean, well, Shawnee, I think people were talking about that, but this is what we're getting is the worst of the bunch, and both of them. Neither one is. I heard a lot of like on like Facebook and on various places. I saw a lot of like, well, Trump is lying and Biden is just having a hard time telling the truth, to which I wanted to vomit. If you think that like Biden is a truth teller, I don't know what to tell you. Biden has been a liar, just a serial liar his entire political career. If you don't know that, if you don't operate based on that assumption, and you're trying to put him up against Trump as some kind of moral barometer, you have absolutely no political acumen, and you should zip it because there's nothing that when you say, you just look bad saying stuff like that. Oh, but Biden is a truthful guy. You look like you don't know what you're talking about. So I suggest that you don't say that because it's just a dumb thing to say. Biden is the worst. And so is Trump, the worst. They're both the worst. No one is the worst, the more worst. No one is the more worst of the two. Okay, so just don't even go there. My God. It makes me frustrated and angry to see that kind of stuff from people, and I have to refrain from being really harsh and saying like, and wanting to verbally like shake people like, no, you don't know what you're saying. you are the reason. The reason you thinking this is one of the reasons why this country fucking sucks, why we're going down a toilet bowl, because you think if anybody is just be better than Trump, be a doddering, blithering bobblehead, barely able to function, but you think that's he is somehow better than Trump. That's one of the reasons why this country is screwed. We're screwed. That's about the nicest way I can put it. I'll just end there. Gene says I'm voting for Jill Stein. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just so they've been running this playbook for a long time, which is the playbook is put the worst people possible forward, eliminate anybody with anybody who has character, integrity, has the ability to speak about real issues. They eliminate them from the conversation. Kucinich is also in the race, right? Barely talked about, and he's been running for president like every time. Hasn't he run in like almost every race in the last I feel like 6 races? Kucinich has been around for a long time. They did it to Ron Paul. They get rid of these people. They get them off the stage. They get rid of them as quickly as they can. I mean, and a lot of people say that Ron Paul swayed this election or that election. There was, why am I forgetting his name? Back in the Clinton Bush, Ross Perot, right, was the great kneecapper of the Republicans, supposedly. But they just, supposedly Bernie Sanders was one of the reasons why, Hillary lost or whatever. Yeah, if only Bernie Sanders hadn't been out there telling the truth, we could have got our liar in. What the hell? Anyways, the theories and the theories and the the theories and the suggested different scenarios in which this could play out are flying fast and furious. And I mean, interesting times. Ross Perot almost broke through the two-party state. That they won't let that happen again. Yeah, Shawnee, absolutely. Absolutely. They don't want, that's why they're downing RFK as hard as they are. And a lot of people had problems with Bernie Sanders, how he handled the end of his presidential runs. The presidential runs. But they effectively knocked him out and blocked him, kept him from being viable. I saw a really good tweet about the fact that when, in 2020, Bernie Sanders was spanking Twitter people. Where you at? My friends on Twitter, where you be? Are you there? Give me a thumbs up and a retweet or a repost if you can. Rockfin people, what's up with you? How you doing? Got a tip on Rockfin, Kameshwari Kate. Thank you. She says, I'm starting to get sweet on the Growling Bear here at BBN. Yeah. And 2 days in a row, I forgot to play it at the beginning when I like to play it. So we'll give it to you now. Welcome to Black Bear News. That was a long intro. Um. Anyways, thanks for the Rockfin, the Super Ray. Caleb Rochester's over here. Caleb Rochester is over here. Who else? Old as Dirt. William. Sama. What's up, people? and Kate saying hi from Twitter as well. Thank you. Right on. Right on. I think Twitter is like, man, Twitter is like being very oh, I see. They're making it so like, I don't know, they're doing something weird. Twitter really doesn't like me. That they just don't like me. Which is interesting. Since they're so free speech and whatnot. They're so free over there. I you know, the fact that I'm, you know, somehow too free for them. Somebody said the other day that I think it was Ryan Christian said something about nuance is, you know, the worst thing possible. All right, Bulla's on Twitter. Did I leave my car keys in here? All right. Right on. Thanks for chiming in from Twitter. Yeah, Ryan Christian said, okay, that's good to know, Kate. That's good to know. It just looked funny, like it was not very available. But yeah, he said nuance is the thing that they really don't want. Like people, Fred Hampton, right, joining forces with people on the right and actual like KKK people, right, like people who are willing to actually cross the political divide to unite people under, you know, different issues than like you're left and you're right, and you know, I think that's why they dislike me so much, because they want all the climate change. You know, I say this all the time. Whatever, it's a broken record. They want all the climate change people to be happy little liberals and not, you know, not get outside of their ideological silo. And they want all the truther / whatever you want to call it, right wing ish, you know, libertarian ish people. They want them in their little ideological silos, and they don't want them breaking out. If you break out, that's the problem. That's when you say like, hey, we might have things in common with each other. We might be able to understand each other, even though we have serious differences of opinion. And that is what they don't want. They hate that. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So it must be why. I'm imagining. When I'm in a much more clearly defined climate change box, they're like, okay, well, let's give this guy some followers and some views and stuff. Because he seems to know that you can only be a one issue kind of brain. You can only be concerned about one topic, because certainly we don't want people thinking about other things. Anyways, yeah, so interesting times, and let me play. I just blabbed a lot, and I'm gonna have to. Right, they have proven themselves very adept at getting to the people that are actually trying to organize people around things like, you know, food and shelter and medical care. More power to the people and less power to the people in charge. Let's watch some of these scenes or highlights or discussion around the debate last night. I know. You may not want to watch it. We're going to talk about other things as quickly as we can get there. But first, Joy Reed says, my phone never really stopped buzzing throughout. The universal reaction was approaching panic. This is the CNN.
I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak. I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate with...
He did seem feeble and weak. He absolutely did. He was, Barry talking like... He belongs in an old folks' home. Or he belongs in bed with people, nursing him and helping him. Do what he does not belong on a presidential debate stage or anywhere near the presidency. No, he is an elderly person. He is way past having any cognition of what, is going on. At some point, you've got to take the keys out of dad's hands, right? You can't let him drive anymore. At some point, people have that talk, that discussion with their family members and their parents. And I know it sucks. You got to take the keys away from mom because she's not going to drive anymore. Anyways. The most hardened established liberals saw it fall apart tonight, and I, for one, look forward to more of these COPE sessions in the future. This is bread and circuses.
There is no two ways about it. That was not a good debate for Joe Biden.
Ben? That was painful. I love Joe Biden. I work for Joe Biden. He didn't do well at all. He did not do well at all. And he looked, I'll give you the analysis, kind of have the old man versus the con man. I can walk you through how I'm supposed to see it and say it, but I just want to speak from my heart. I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country.
Oh, God.
He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence.
He's not a good person.
Of the country
and
of the
base. Sorry to
base.
tell you that. If you
and
think
he failed
he's
to do that.
Person,
and I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him
that,
consider.
Who's a dirtbag is Jill
taking a different course
Biden
now.
Is a dirtbag.
We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that. But that was not what we needed from Joe Biden, and it's personally painful for a lot of people. It's not just panic; it's pain. Of what we saw tonight.
Propping him up as a good person, I cannot take it. This dude is one of the most despicable people that has been in his, just a swamp creature. He is one of the dirtiest, nastiest, lionest, bullshittingest. He's got so much. There are so many liabilities out there around him and Hunter. So many, right? And they're all going to come back pretty soon. Yes, his wife and all these people making him run are evil. Yes, they are evil too. But propping him up as like a good guy, and like, you just can that. No, she does not love and cherish her husband. She is the one she's abusive. She's putting him out there and going like, come on. Yeah, no. If you're a dirtbag, it doesn't matter if you just get old and it doesn't make you like, oh well, he's just old. No, he's just an old dirtbag now. But I am absolutely up to my neck in disgust and frustration with people who are trying to be like, well, no, wait and tell the truth. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. But keep going if that's what you want to do. Worst closing statement in debate history. And true, because he couldn't even say the statement. There have been closing statements which are like, come on, dude, come on. Like everything you're saying is a bunch of, BS. That's usually true, right? Usually every presidential closing statement is like, oh, okay, all right, Jesus. It's just a big, couple of pieces of bread with a thick layer of bullshit on it, serving you up a sandwich of, crap. Here you go. I bet you believe it, but he couldn't even do that. He couldn't even deliver the sandwich. So yeah.
And everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along, it's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems
Well, I
for
don't
people
even know.
across
I
the
lost
country.
track of what he's
We're going
saying.
to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, he's barely reading. Anyways, and this is why they don't have a chance. It doesn't really matter whether did anybody see this one? It doesn't really matter. Democrats are holding the bag on, some real bad things, bad times going on, right? And I think their game plan is to switch Biden out, run somebody else, and just lie about how strong the economy is until they can get to the election. And maybe they're trying to win. Maybe they're trying to win. I don't know. I don't see, maybe they're so delusional that they think they might have a chance of winning. But this is a very shocking and eye-opening video. This man tries to reorder a Walmart order from 2022, right? They've been telling you, the numbers, inflation, it's 8% or it's 5% or it's down a little bit or up a little bit. No, inflation is 150%, 200%, 300%. This guy tries to order a Walmart order, and literally inflation is 300%.
I feel like I'm gonna be sick. I just looked through my Walmart history, and I found this Walmart order from 2 years ago for the whole month worth of groceries. 45 items cost $126. A whole month of groceries just for me, basically. But I did notice this reorder all button, and I wanted to see how much it would cost now. Now, this order of 45 items for 1 month would have cost $414. That is 4 times more. How the fuck? How? What?
I mean, I think everybody has been to the store. Right? I mean, everybody goes shopping and can see what's going on. I mean, I think the only reason, and I mean, gas is high, but I think the only reason why people aren't absolutely falling through the cracks is that they're doing everything they can. Sorry. I don't know why I'm getting all these phone calls. They're doing the reason why people, yeah, even shitty cheap shit is expensive. Yeah, extra bolo, even like fast food. Dude, I went to I stopped. I was at work and I had to use a restroom, so I stopped at this burger joint because I know they have a restroom there that they will let you use. Right, LA is really hard to find like a restroom. If you have to go, like you are, usually shit out of luck, unless you can find, you need to find a place that has like actual restaurant. Anyways, I went to this burger place and I was like, I'm just going to order some fries so I can ask them to use the restroom. And the dude was like, $5. And I was like, $5 for, and it wasn't like, it was like an order of fries. It was like a, kind of a medium-ish order of fries in a bag. I was like, $5? $5? Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. I can get a whole bag of potatoes for less than $5. $5. Like, Jesus Christ. It was wild. But that's kind of what everybody knows that inflation is out of control. And I think the only reason that people are holding on is because gas is somewhat, like, it's not like $6 or $7. If gas is like $6 or $7 a gallon, then people would really be falling out. It's only because gas is kind of like underneath 5 or around 5 here. It's around 5 here. It's anywhere between $4 and like $6 here, depending on where you go. But they're really trying to keep it in that 5-ish range, because if it gets any more than that, people are going to start losing it, because it's already like, people are having a hard time. People go to the store and they're just like, what the F, man? I just paid $50 for one bag of groceries, or barely a bag of groceries. So we'll see. No, it wasn't. Well, no, it was $5 for an order of fries, like not a giant family, bag of like a, maybe if it was like a, the big extra large family size bag of fries, I could see, okay, maybe $5, but like, anyways. Yeah, I'm extra bola. I scope out all the, we have the, some of the more discount stores here, but there's some stores I don't even go to anymore because it's wild. They don't really have everything I need, but like they, I don't know if y'all have a Vons where you're at, but I used to go to Vons every day, and now I like never go to Vons because their prices just keep going up and up and up and up. Kamashwari says, a week ago we had to agree to bypass the rent control, and our rent was raised by $500 a month. If we don't agree, we would have to move out for renovations. Yep, they did that to somebody I know down here too. Actually, not somebody I know personally, but somebody I know, thrice removed. Had to. They were like, yeah, we're going to do renovations. You're going to have to get out of here. And when you get out of here, we're going to raise your rent. Ha, ha, ha. You can come back, but your rent's going to be, like $500 more. It's super messed up. But why? That's the thing, is like, for people that own property, I imagine some people might have like overhead that would necessitate a little rise, in the prices. But like, why does the owner of the property need to raise the rent? I mean, I guess they're trying to pay bills. I don't know. Five Guys hamburgers, regular and French fries, no drink, were $18.26. Yeah, it's expensive. like $20. Yeah, man. And like burritos are like a staple here in LA. Burritos are the thing that people eat like, oh, I'm going to eat something that's going to fill me up and it's going to be like relatively cheap, right? Or, and you can get like delicious, kind of biggish burritos like all over LA. But now all of those burritos are $10 or $12. So it's like $12, like $10 for a burrito that used to be like $5 not too long ago, maybe $6. Yeah, it's weird to me though. There are some places that like some entities that raise the prices on things. I'm like, you're at the top. Like you're not, you have money. What are you talking about? You're just doing it because everybody else is doing it and you need to keep up. Yeah, well, we're going to move on to some climate change stuff. Thanks for hanging out, guys. This is oh, hold on. Do we need to go back to the beginning? No. Being impacted by 2, 3, or 4 degrees of climate warming will be utterly devastating. There isn't a non-radical way out of this. There would have been if we started in 1990. We chose not to. We chose not to in 2000, in 2010, and 2020. So radical change is inevitable now. Let's listen from Kevin Anderson.
I'm sorry, we've left it so late. So whichever way you go, it's a revolution. There isn't a neat evolutionary way, incremental step-by-step way out of this in any direction. Being impacted by 2, 3, 4 degrees centigrade of climate warming will be utter devastating for many people in society, for most of us, all of us in society at those sorts of temperatures. So the responses that we have then will have to be revolutionary, and they'll be revolutionary, chaotic, uncontrolled, and full of suffering. The revolution I'm talking about is one that will be very challenging still, but is one that we have some control over. It's one that we can come out of the other side with a much more prosperous, sustainable future for us, our children, and for living in harmony with the other, more than human species around the planet. And so there isn't a non-radical way out of this. There would have been if we started in 1990. We chose not to. We chose not to in 2000. We chose not to in 2010. We chose not to in 2020. And we are now reaping the repercussions of not driving action over 30 years. So radical change is inevitable now, whichever way we go. And I think to choose radical change that is at least in some way organized and structured and involves much less suffering is far more preferable than leaving the climate to run havoc around the planet with all the suffering and ecological collapse that will create.
Yeah. I mean, it's true ecologically and now it's true kind of politically. I think, like the political what's going on right now, as bad as it's getting, I think people, especially in the US, think that we're gonna vote our way out of these problems, or just somehow somehow get on the internet and cry enough to fix these problems. ain't happening. It's going to get so bad that people are going to have to get out and start getting uncomfortable. Period. And I'm, sorry to say that, but that's what's happening. We're not going to, the oligarchy is not going to let go or, oh, my bad. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They're going to force you to react. Period. Because if you're able to take something from somebody and they're willing to give it to you because they don't really want the confrontation, they're going to keep taking it. And we're not, it doesn't. And when somebody is willing to put up a fight, they're pretty good at, at neutralizing them. So, yeah, I just don't see. I think there's going to have to be some action by people, and it doesn't have to even necessarily be like, towards the ruling establishment. It could just be, inward, right? Like the people just getting together and having like, citizen forums. Like we're going to have to get together and go like, look, we're going to have to solve these problems, right? We were talking about the Mexican city that kicked out the police and the military because they were the ones causing all that, right? So we're going to have to get together and figure out a way to like, remove these entities, their influence from our lives and start taking care of these problems ourselves. Like that's the only way it's going to happen. And it's going to happen. That's either going to happen or we're all going to be running around screaming for the hills, like, or whatever. We're going to just be like, or we're going to be locked in our houses while, the 3 robot dogs on our porch make sure that we don't leave. So, what do you want to just sit around and go like, that's not going to happen. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Everything's fine. No, it's not. It is not fine. It is not going to be fine. And the moment when you realize it's not, when the average person, Joe, is like, oh, things are not fine. By the time it gets there, it's going to be very much more not fine. That's dark. Jazz Farm says, no, it's not fine. We are losing crops to heat and hoppers this year. It's been a battle. Oh, Cherán is the Mexican town. Okay, cool. All right, guys, if you like this show, if you enjoy this show, if you enjoy hanging out, watching this show, and you want to help the show keep going and keep on being here, you could support the show financially, and that would be a great idea. And there are links below in the description box of both Rockfin and YouTube. If you want to do it, just come on over and check them out. There's like the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the PayPal, the coffees, etc. And to all the people that have already donated or do donate on a regular basis, you know who you are, and I thank you. Kevin Anderson has always been a real straight shooter, and I appreciate that about him. Compounding disasters from Steve Austin. 17 manure pits reportedly overflow at large feedlots in southern Minnesota. They're battling floods. There's a whole slew of floods. Moab. This is dash cam footage out of Moab. This person almost looks like a very not a great thing to drive through. I would not drive through that, but this person did. They made it through. Lone Wanderer says, pretty sure the average Joe is on the verge of panic after last night. Well, yeah, especially since CNN is like, time to panic, guys. This is in Germany. Oh, this is not it. What is happening here? Hoffenheim football stadium in Germany on Wednesday. Full of water. Warsaw, Poland. Getting slapped. Nogales, Mexico. Yeah, Moab. I saw a bunch of videos out of that area. 7 people are missing as flooding and a landslide wreak havoc in southwestern Antioquia, Colombia. Well, I did get a donation from Shawnee on Venmo. Thank you, Shawnee. I appreciate you. You guys are great. Oh, this is what I wanted to cover yesterday. So the Paris Agreement distracted us from doing anything real. Net zero distracted us from doing anything real. Now it's the energy transition that's distracting us from doing anything real. And it just keeps getting hotter. 1.5 degrees Celsius is here and now. Actually, I wish I would have seen this earlier because I kind of wanted to read this. It's late in the day. Has the world already reached a global warming trend of 1.5 C? There have been sharp disagreements between scientists over this question, with former NASA climate science chief James Hansen saying that for all practical purposes, the climate system trend is now at the 1.5 C mark, whilst Penn State University's Michael Mann and others disagree and say we have a decade to go. In May 2024, Hansen wrote that the 12-month mean global temperature is still rising at 1.56 C relative to 1880-1920 in the GISS analysis through April. Well, let's see. Hansen is like the grandfather of global warming science, climate science. And I have always tended to trust James Hansen's assessments way more than Michael Mann's. Robert Rode reports that it is 1.65 C. What? Relative to 1850, 1900? in the Berkeley Earth Analysis for the same period, 1.65. Another pointer is the fact that the 2023 El Nino was moderate rather than extreme. So when the temperature falls back, as the El Nino ends, that decrease will not be as sharp as it was, for example, at the end of 2015-16, Super El Nino. The warmest 12 months around the 2023-24 El Nino was about 1.65 C, and the decrease may only be in the range of 0.2 or 0.25. As well, global ocean surface temperatures are continuing on their record-breaking ways. As illustrated in Figure 1, the orange band shows the extraordinary difference between the current year and all previous years. Warming for the 2023 calendar year was 1.5 C, with September above 1.8 C, the second half of 2023 at 1.67. And the global average temperature for the past 12 months at 1.63. The past 12 months, 1.63. Looks like we are on the other side of that guardrail, guys. Yikes. Data sets of global temperatures vary a little depending on method, but two of the most significant are Berkeley Earth, which put the 2023 calendar year at 1.54 above pre-industrial, and Copernicus at 1.48. Berkeley said that a single year exceeding 1.5 C is a stark warning sign of how close the overall climate system has come to exceeding this Paris Agreement goal, with greenhouse gas emissions continuing to set record highs. It is likely that climate will regularly exceed 1.5 C in the next decade or next year, whatever you like. Yeesh. The global average temperature for May 2024 was 1.5 C. So let's see. Last year was at 1.5. The entire last year, or from here to the last year, is 1.65. This month, or last month, was 1.5. I don't know. Have we passed 1.5? Have we hit the guardrail, or are we past the guardrail? I mean, I feel like the same, the people that are like, well, hope we don't hit 1.5. Or, we got a lot of work to do so that we don't hit 1.5. I feel like I want to shake those people. The same people that think that Biden is a truth-telling individual. I want to shake them and go, no, 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 no. You are not operating in reality. Anyways. One or even 2 years of 1.5 C does not constitute a trend, but if you understand that the trend is going up, I guess, I don't know. Why call it a trend when the trend is trending? For some time, Jim Hansen and his colleagues have been saying that the warming is accelerating. Yes, the rate of warming is accelerating, right? He warns that warming will accelerate to 1.7 C by 2030, and 2 C will be reached by the late 2030s. That's Hansen. But, with worldwide flooding and all kinds of, threats to global agriculture happening right now, do we need to wait for 2 C to understand that it's not a good situation? I don't think we do. All right, guys, I have got to vacate the premises, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you. I don't know. I might try and do a show tomorrow. I'm not sure. Not here, probably on Rumble. But we'll see. Rockfin people, thank you for hanging out with me. I see ya. All the people here. Thanks for hanging out on the Rumbles. I mean, on the Rockfins. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a Rumble show tomorrow. And I will drop links and whatever. Keep an eye out. Go follow me on Rumble. And keep an eye out on Twitter. We'll see. That's a 50-50 on doing a show tomorrow. All right. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks for your eyes, ears, and your conscience. And definitely thank you for the conversation. Until next time, peace.